Yikes. State regime media known as Fox got a rude awakening when MAGA Republican Congress member Andy Harris, who leads the far right-wing Freedom Caucus, went on Fox and said that he would not be voting for the disastrous budget bill. He said he would be voting against it in the Rules Committee, voting against the rule. We'll see what he does, because they often say this and then lie. But here he is saying it on Fox. Let's play this clip.
So where are you on the bill that came out of the Senate?
Well, you know, the rumor is that we might have a rule vote tomorrow. The rule is basically our motion to proceed. I don't think the votes are there, just like they weren't in the Senate initially until some concessions were made. I believe that the rule vote will not pass tomorrow morning, and then the Speaker's going to have to decide how he gets this back into the Senate framework, but into the House framework, I should say, right. And whether that's by scaling back some of the tax cuts that were added in the Senate, whether it's by going after some of the Green New Scam that the president doesn't like. We'll get there eventually, but I don't think it's going to be in the next couple days.
No, but just for clarity purpose, are you a yes or a no on the Senate bill?
Oh, I'm a no on the rule, which is the motion to proceed to taking a vote on the Senate bill.
I don't think that's what Fox was expecting to hear. Later in the day, you had Fox propagandist Sean Hannity bring on dog-killing cosplayer Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who finished her visit to what they're calling Alligator Alcatraz, a concentration camp in the Everglades in Florida. Here she is wearing her white MAGA hat with gold lettering, saying that she is thrilled that Pam Bondi will go after CNN for promoting a app that blocks ICE. They were not promoting the app. They were reporting on it. And this has really freaked the Trump regime and Fox out. Play this clip.
Kristi Noem is with us. Okay. 700% increase against agents. And you've got groups that are, and I had Pam Bondi on about this last night. They are warning people. Are they not aiding and abetting in the law breaking? Are they not responsible for obstructing justice? And she was very open to looking into the criminality of it, or potential criminality of it.
Yes, absolutely. I believe, in my opinion, that they are. And that's why I'm so thrilled that Pam is willing to be proactive and go after those individuals that would perpetuate this kind of activity against our law enforcement officers.
Then you have former MAGA Republican Congress member Jason Chaffetz, who's now a host on Fox, because that's the revolving door they have at state regime media. And his attack of Mondami, Zoran Mondami, is that, what are you going to do, New Yorkers? You're going to start eating burritos with your fingers? Like, what the hell are you doing? I'd like to eat burritos with my fingers. What does this have to do with anything? State regime media, they're weird. Play this clip.
The taxes are going to be exorbitant. The average person isn't going to be able to afford things. He's just like, hey, let's put root beer in all the drinking fountains. Everything will be free. Look at how I eat my burrito with my fingers. And trust me, I mean, he's in this fancy package with a bright smile. But that is not going to fix the problems of New York City.
Next, you have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessant, who, in his very arrogant way, Scott Bessant. I'm Treasury Secretary Scott Bessant. I used to live in a replica of a pink Barbie house, and I am worth $1 billion. And I keep saying there's going to be a deal tomorrow, and there's no deal. I don't know what I'm doing. That's my Treasury Secretary Scott Bessant impression. Please forgive me. Talking especially to my wife there. Please forgive me with my impressions. Here, Scott Bessant is saying Elon Musk just needs to stick to his rockets. I will deal with finance. Here, play this clip.
Your favorite topic, Elon Musk. I mean, he is beyond furious about this legislation, said it's basically a betrayal of what he thought the administration stood for, focused a lot on spending, deficits and so forth. And he said he's going to fund the primarying of anyone who voted for this, who claimed to be a Republican who believed in fiscal restraint. Your reaction to what Musk has been posting for the last few days about this?
Well, as I said earlier this morning, I think if Elon sticks to rockets, I'll stick to finance. And, I am confident that this bill is going to pay down the debt. And there were 50 senators who weren't threatened by his words. And Vice President Vance stepped in. They broke the tie in the Senate, and now we're moving into the House. And President Trump has shown incredible leadership on this, and in conjunction with Leader Thune, Speaker Johnson, I think that they're going to hold the majorities together and push this forward.
They were really struggling with Elon Musk saying that this budget bill was a total disaster, and Elon Musk saying that he would fund the primaries of anybody who wanted to challenge a MAGA Republican that supports this monstrosity of a budget bill. A disastrous one. Then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessant believes that the Freedom Caucus are Democrats. Listen to what he says here. But by the way, at the beginning of this video, you saw the chair of the Freedom Caucus, the right-wing group. So what are you even talking about here, Bessant? Play this clip.
Because it also includes border, it includes defense, it includes school choice. And I just had a meeting with some of the House Democrats, the Freedom Caucus, and I can tell you that group should be so proud of themselves. They have changed the center of gravity in the debate. We are going to start paying down debt. We're going to grow the economy, and they were big contributors to this.
And then a not so ringing endorsement of this disastrous budget bill by MAGA Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. She goes, this bill, it's like as good as it's going to get. Like, whatever. It may suck, but like, whatever. It's as good as we can do. We are taking 17 million Americans off Medicaid. Whatevs. We're taking people off SNAP. Whatevs. But on the bright side, billionaires are going to get massive tax cuts. That's pretty neato. Here, watch her play this clip.
Ensuring delivery of his campaign promises to the American people not only secures the House for the midterms, which, mind you, President Trump is indeed ahead of this party, meaning that if he instructs Speaker Johnson to continuing bringing forward those rescissions, also to instruct him to do single subject spending bills, Speaker Johnson will listen, but we do have a very slim majority. So I will say that this bill is as good as it's going to get. In the event that it's not passed, we are facing a really big problem here, a potential 22%, I believe, increase for the average American taxpayer. And so right now, this is going to be baby steps to crawl our way out of this big hole that has been a result of more than one president and more than one Congress really putting us into a debt crisis. And I know that President Trump, and I have all the faith that he will be handling us, this situation and bringing us out of it.
By the way, Anna Paulina Luna, weren't you chairing the Jeffrey Epstein committee? Weren't you supposed to be responsible for releasing those files that Donald Trump is covering up because his name is all over them? Doe 174. Look it up. Then MAGA Mike Johnson continues with this very creepy line that the MAGA Republicans are using right now. If you're an able-bodied young man, you got to help pull the wagon, not ride it. What are you, an able-bodied young man pulling wagon, not riding it? Maybe this is why MAGA Mike has that app with his, I won't go there. Let's just play the clip.
That's what we do by reinstituting work requirements, right? If you're a young, able-bodied man, you should be helping to pull the wagon, not riding it.
And by the way, Medicaid pays providers. Medicaid it's not like Medicaid makes it rain on people. People have to get a surgery or a procedure or get medication, and then they submit it for reimbursement by Medicaid that the provider gets paid by Medicaid. That's the way it works. It's not like Medicaid's just off there writing massive checks to people who are healthy. Where a lot of the Medicaid fraud takes place is lots of sometimes big corporations, like the one run by MAGA Republican Senator Rick Scott from Florida, one of the largest Medicaid frauds in history. They falsely bill, the corporations do, to enrich the leaders of the company. But it's not like there's not millions of able-bodied young men out there being, ooh, I'm going to get a back surgery. Yeah, Medicaid, make me rich. Like, that's just not the way it works. It's stupid. And the construct of this, that they're making that argument, is cruel and it's stupid. It's not the way it works. Then MAGA Mike Johnson talks about, oh, we're going to deliver this bill. We will deliver this bill by July 4th just because Donald Trump likes that date. Big, beautiful bill, July 4th. Here, play this clip.
All through the night last night, didn't get a lot of sleep. I'm sure you probably didn't either. And I will tell you, there was a point where they were short one vote. And I know that there are some changes. And from the beginning, you said and asked John Thune, you asked senators to make minimal changes possible. They have to deal with the reconciliation process. That does complicate things on their end. They have to deal with the Senate parliamentarian. That complicates things. Would you say 85 to 90% it's identical?
Yes, that's great, Sean. Good to be with you. 85 to 90% of this bill is the House-generated product. The Senate made some modifications to it. They made it more conservative in some places and moderated it a little bit in others. But I tell you what, as the president said so well today, this is no longer just a House bill. It's not a Senate bill. It's the bill of the people, of the hardworking American people. And we are going to deliver it, as you said, Sean, by July 4th. It is so critically important. Remember, we got a clear mandate from the people in November to do this. President Trump ran on a clear set of priorities and promises, and we did as well. And this is the vehicle to deliver.
All right, MAGA Mike Johnson. Like, just isn't watching MAGA Mike Johnson one of the most pathetic things? And by the way, here's another clip of MAGA Mike Johnson that you can see right here. And you can see he hedges a little bit. He goes, hopefully we're voting on this by tomorrow, maybe Thursday, maybe we're in a little bit of trouble here, eh? Here, play this clip.
Well, we're having weather delays getting everybody back right now, but assuming we have a full House, we'll get it through the Rules Committee in the morning. We'll move that forward to the floor, and hopefully we're voting on this by tomorrow or Thursday at latest. Depending on the weather, delays, and travel, and all the rest, that's the wild card that we can't control.
Then you had Claudia Tenney, MAGA Republican from New York, and here she talks again about these fake stats that she's giving about all these able-bodied young men who are just, grifting off of Medicaid. Are they riding around in their Medicaid Lamborghinis? Are they chilling on their Medicaid private jets? Are they on their Medicaid yachts? Oh yeah, that's exactly. I'm going to get rich by getting back surgery and by getting medication. Or maybe perhaps the giveaways in this bill for the people who are doing that are the billionaires who are now getting massive tax breaks. The people like Jeff Bezos who are throwing foam parties with his stepson where he's grinding on his stepson's mother, his new wife, and his stupid yacht versus Americans getting the health care that they need to freaking live. Play this clip.
And another part of this Medicaid that is, I'm just tired of hearing about the Democrats screaming that people are going to lose their health care. I've said this over and over. There are about 19 million people in the state of New York. 8 million are receiving Medicaid. About 5 million of those 8 million are actually eligible. So all we're doing is saying, let's strengthen the Medicaid program that is for the truly needy, people who have special needs, senior citizens who are stuck on fixed incomes that had to deal with inflation, people who have other issues that cannot, whether they have children or dependents and they need the Medicaid, not people who are able-bodied adults who we need, by the way, to go to work. If we're going to advance and grow our economy, we need people who are able-bodied without dependents to start going to work, to start contributing to the tax base, to start paying into Social Security so that we can keep that solvent in the future. And that's what we're looking for, is getting people off the dependency. And there's so many people that are on it, not to mention 4.6 million illegal immigrants receiving full Medicaid benefits from the federal taxpayers and state.
Sorry, that always just bugs me so much. And I keep bringing up Bezos's foam party on the yacht where they have like foam and they like dance with each other and grind on each other with like foam because it's really weird. And why is your stepson with his mom in the bikini and you're dancing on them? And these rich people do some weird stuff on these yachts. I won't go there. Okay. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessant continues this line. We want to make Medicaid available to mothers and children who need it. There's lots of able-bodied people. It's just false. It's false. There's not a large group of able-bodied young men using this. Okay, you get the point. Let's play it.
So when you saw Senator Tom Tillis on Sunday rant about what it's going to do to Medicaid and how many millions of people will be kicked off, what's your answer to the Republican?
Look, I like Senator Tillis, he's in my neighboring state, North Carolina, but I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with him. We want to make Medicaid available to mothers and children and those who need it. There are lots of able-bodied people who have taken advantage of the system. We're going to put in a work requirement, and we're just trying to get the levels back to where we were pre-COVID, which I don't think anybody disagrees with.
And here we've gone from 90 deals in 90 days to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessant saying we'll do trade next week, as Aaron Rupert explains. Let's play it.
Brian, I was just in touch with leadership up on the Hill, and I can tell you we are moving toward a vote today. And look, the 20 hours doesn't worry me because it's just the Democrats trying to obstruct this one big, beautiful bill. President Trump has incredible momentum from the border to Israel, Iran. Now we're going to bring it home on the tax bill, and then we'll do trade next week. It's just the Democrats trying to stop the president's momentum.
So pathetic. By the way, Aaron Rupert, Asen, myself, we use something called Snapstream to pull these clips. It's a software that allows us to pull these clips. So we have a link in the description below if you want to say hi to our friends at Snapstream. If you want to do the work that I do, just find the link and then call the folks at Snapstream if you're interested. It's really for kind of companies, but you may find a use for it as well. It's great stuff. Anyway, then you have MAGA Republican Congresswoman Malliotakis on Elon Musk attacking him. Play this clip.
He's calling out the Republicans for what he calls recklessly increasing the deficit. He also is threatening to create a new political party and primary anyone who votes for the bill. New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis joins me now. Does anybody in Congress listen to Musk any longer? Has he still any influence?
He might have some influence, but I think we're so focused right now on getting this job done. It seems to me that he's trying to divide the Republicans. He's trying to derail the president's agenda, and we're not going to allow that to happen. We need to secure this border. We're making the largest investment in border security. We've seen what happened in New York City. It just needs to be done. We are going to make sure that these tax cuts don't expire. It would be trillions of dollars, a 68% increase in taxes across the board for every American, for businesses. And you'll see the standard deduction, the child tax credit cut in half. But aside from that, we are delivering for working families, for the middle class, for our senior citizens, significant tax relief. So either, maybe he's mad because we're not focused on billionaire. Government's actually focused on the middle class for once, or maybe he's just upset over the EV tax credits.
I think he is, actually.
I guess when in doubt, one of the biggest liars in the Trump regime, although they're all pretty big, Kevin Hassett, his top national economic advisor, says that we're not taking away Medicaid from anybody when the bill literally takes away Medicaid from 17 million people. And as my friends at the Tennessee Holler say, they're doing the waste, fraud, and abuse thing again, which should show the people who bought that bullshit regarding Doge that it's their standard gaslighting excuse for doing a lot of damage. And you were taken for a ride then as of now. Play this clip.
You're getting hammered on these Medicaid cuts. Some on behalf of Tom Tillis out of North Carolina. What would you say to those who are coming after you on the Medicaid issue?
Right. The bottom line is that we're not taking away anybody's Medicaid. We're definitely not taking away anybody's Medicare. What we're doing is we're going after waste, fraud, and abuse. And there's a heck of a lot of it out there. A lot of budget savings have been found by people really in the House, in the Senate, not just conservatives, moderates agree that there's a lot of money that can be saved. And the bottom line is that we're in the end going to balance this budget. And we've got to balance this budget by getting rid of waste, fraud, abuse. And we're going to do it. Okay, and we've also got all this revenue coming in from the 3% growth, which will be an extra $4 trillion in revenue. We've got $2.8 trillion in tariff revenue coming in as well. So the idea that this is fiscally irresponsible is also incorrect.
Okay. And then finally, you have a guy who gives Barney Rubble a very bad name, Tom Homan, the border czar, who talks about how they're going to go after any migrants at all, regardless of whether crimes were committed. Play the clip.
Yesterday on this program, Florida Congressman Carlos Jimenez said he wants you to focus on criminal migrants. He says South Florida needs the others, that is, non-violent criminal migrants, to stay and work. What do you say to that?
Well, if he's a member of Congress and fix the immigration system, I mean, that's his responsibility. ICE is enforcing laws enacted by Congress. They're not making this up. I mean, it's violation of federal law to enter this country illegally. It's illegal, to be here illegally is not okay. It's in violation of law, and ICE is simply out there arresting those who are in the country illegally. But let's get back to from day one, we've been concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. That's what we're focusing on. But in the process of doing that, if we find somebody illegally in the United States that's not a criminal threat, well, they're going to be arrested and put in front of an immigration judge. That's what federal law requires.
There you have it, folks. Another disastrous day at Fox. You saw it for yourself. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. And let's get to 7 million subscribers. Let's get to 10 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.